Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below and I just might end up responding. While the WWE's recent draft has everyone up in arms over the fact that the USA Network execs must be total idiots for separating Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and in turn losing themselves a draft pick, we'll have to call that the tamest way one of these tag teams' reigns could have come to an end. Most of the time when a team's run its course, one of the two has a heel turn or just a general betrayal on the way. I'm D-Wicked from Watch WWE, and here's 10 superstars who betrayed their partners. Number 10, Dean Ambrose. Jon Moxley may be lighting the world on fire right now over with the Elite, but just a year ago we watched a freshly returned Dean Ambrose stab his brother in the back in one of the most bizarre sequences of events I think I've ever seen, having Seth and Dean win the Raw tag titles only for him to turn, oddly turning the lunatic Fringe, who fed off the crowd's emotions and had finally reconciled with his brother in arms after years, into a legitimate cartoon character. Like, yeah, he was cartoony before, hot dog carts and all that malarkey, but getting shots in the so that he doesn't get infected by the smelly crowds who come to his shows? What in the actual was Vince thinking, especially knowing how depressed this character made Dean? Oh, and to top it all off, we had 1/3 of the Shield turning his back on another third after the final third, Roman Reigns, had just announced that he had leukemia and would be relinquishing his newly won Universal Championship to go recover. If you can't see what's wrong with this, you need help. Number 9, Big Cass. Let's be real here, if Enzo Amore was your annoying little mouthpiece, there's a chance you'd want to shove a size 17 boot down his throat as well. Despite the pairing still being pretty over by 2017, literally only a year after debuting on the main roster and being very underutilized, WWE decided to still keep with that year's trend of splitting up tag teams, and while almost none of the other ones from 2017 mattered, like, at all, this one sorta did, as it spiraled from one of the hottest acts in the company both finding their exits from said company. After a mystery attacker had taken Enzo out of action for a little while, WWE did a fun little whodunit storyline, and by fun, I mean I'd bet money that approximately 3 people in total didn't know that it was Cass.
We are through.
Number 8, Paul Bearer. Partners in wrestling aren't always relegated to just the tag team. There's other ways to pair up personalities in wrestling. You got stables, there's romantic relationships, valets, and of course the time-tested manager. While Heyman, Heenan, and Cornette will usually round out a top 3 of all-time great wrestling managers, you better believe that Paul Bearer deserves a spot near the top as well. I mean, come on. He was the Undertaker's manager, and Taker started out with Brother Love. This guy, that one lasted. While Bearer might have seemed like the only manager to never split from his talent side, he actually did, refusing Taker his earn during a program against the debuting Mankind, only for Bearer to turn his back and side with Mrs. Foley's baby boy.
Give him the earn. Wait a minute. Give him the earn.
And number 7, The Undertaker. Because you don't mess with The Undertaker. Because he'll hold a decade-long grudge while leading you on as if he's completely sided with you again, and beat the Dudleys in a handicap match where if they had won, Bearer would be buried alive in a glass box of cement for some reason. That's kind of murder. But despite the fact that The Undertaker won the match, he'll still say screw it and bury you alive anyway because he's The Undertaker. He's got spooky electrical powers. You really think his falter will be a bad memory?
Undertaker! No! What are you doing? What the hell is he doing? What the Undertaker!
Number 6, Matt Hardy, and perhaps one of the most understandable betrayals on this list, older brother Matt Hardy finally let a decade plus of being overshadowed by little brother get the best of him. During a WWE Championship match at the 2009 Royal Rumble, pitting champion Jeff Hardy against Edge, Lita had interfered one too many times and Matt came down seemingly to his brother's aid. Despite Matt's prior issues with Edge and Lita, check out our channel, we have talked about it, he actually spun that chair swing around on his own brother, finally climbing outside of Jeff's shadow. Well, no, not really at all. Jeff won the feud at WrestleMania, and then he kept being the favorite, winning the hearts of all the fans for at least another 7 years. But hey, this was probably a step in the breaking of Matt Hardy, so at least he got his win almost like a decade later.
TLC! Concerto City. Oh my God!
Number 5, Andre the Giant. We usually keep the content on our list fairly recent, but let's be honest here. Like I said about 2017, not a lot of meaningful betrayals have been taking place over the last few years, so why not delve back into the history books and enjoy some of the classics? And it really, truly doesn't get much more classic in wrestling than Andre versus Hogan at WrestleMania 3. Look, I know I say things in objectivity a lot, but this one is a fact. It's the epitome of a classic, and it all started with Andre not being very happy over the fact that Hulk Hogan got a bigger trophy than him. I'm not kidding. Andre went undefeated for like a year or a decade or something. I don't know. I didn't grow up in this era. And still got a smaller trophy than Hogan because lol, Hulk wins and decided to turn heel by doing Hulk's job of ripping his shirt in half for him. They were strange times.
We're friends, Andre, please.
You can't believe it? Maybe you'll believe this, Hogan.
Number 4, Batista, or really Triple H, I guess, as he was always sort of the head of Evolution and clearly the coordinator here. After 2 years of tearing apart the main event scene, Triple H had found himself without the World Heavyweight Championship he had become so synonymous with history elusive Chris Benoit taking the title off of him. Before the game could ever reclaim it though, his brother-in-arms Randall Keith would be the man to claim the big gold belt, and since Triple H likes having all the nicest things, he decided to destroy Orton and take back what was his. The upward-facing thumb turned upside down during celebration, Batista dropped, and the rest is history. Number 3, Shawn Michaels. Wrestling fans of a certain age only need to hear the 2 words glass window for a very vivid picture to suddenly paint itself in their minds. Way back when Shawn Michaels was most well known as a tag team wrestler, people were pretty keyed in on the fact that he was the soon-to-be breakout star of the Rockers, a tag consisting of him and Marty Jannetty. And while Jannetty was no slouch inside the ring, dude, you're paired with Shawn Michaels. It's pretty obvious which of the two was going to do the kicking and which was going through said glass window.
See, one without the other isn't any good. Oh, I knew he was going to do that. No! Oh, my God.
Number 2, Sergeant Slaughter. Remember earlier when I talked about all the different ways of pairing wrestling personalities? Yeah, throw that shit out the window, because my man Sergeant Slaughter one-upped his betrayal game by turning his back on not just a tag team partner, not just a faction, hell, not even a wrestling promotion. My boy turned on America. America! Homeboy got so fed up with the Iraq war that he went turncoat, sided with the Iron Sheik, and started talking up Saddam Hussein and how he dominantly conquered Kuwait. Like, terrorists win. Like, this actually happened. An American symbol betrayed, let me repeat this for those of you not paying attention the first 2 times, America, and started talking up his former country's current biggest enemy. You guys notice how we don't see many Kim Jong-un sympathizers on Monday Night Raw these days? Yeah, it's because that shit don't fly these days.
Saddam Hussein did not invade Kuwait. He conquered Kuwait.
And number 1, Seth Rollins. Full circle lists are my favorite kind of lists, and while Dean turning on Seth was truly horrible in just about every way it possibly could have been, Seth Rollins just might have the best betrayal in WWE history. Why am I talking like this? While the Evolution versus Shield feud was a bit oddly one-sided and making Evolution feel extremely weak, losing twice in a row on pay-per-view, Triple H busted out that authority moniker and helped Seth sell his soul to Satan with an offer he just couldn't refuse. That's not the Godfather quote. Touting the ever-present Plan B, Triple H watched on as Seth Rollins stabbed his brother Roman Reigns in the back before laying out Ambrose in what has to be one of the best moments WWE has had in the last decade. When you get a crowd genuinely reacting with saddened disgust, like a dude yelling no as Seth is about to swing the chair, you know you did something right.
Oh, my God!
And those are 10 wrestlers who betrayed their partners, more so 9, and then 1 who betrayed a nation. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. After liking the video, subscribe to the channel, notifications, ring that bell. If you comment about that voice crack, I'm gonna kill somebody.